Will Grand Theft Auto 6 be the last Rockstar game, or the last Rockstar game as we know it? Grand Theft Auto 6 may indeed represent the final chapter of Rockstar Games as the industry comes to understand it. Multiple converging factors suggest that Grand Theft Auto 6's launch, the studio's approach to game development, release schedules, and business model will fundamentally transform in ways that could make traditional single-player story-driven blockbusters a relic of the past. And yes, that sucks. But that also opens up a brave new world in the future. But one of the most significant indicators that Grand Theft Auto 6 kind of marks the end of an era is the dramatic departure of key creative figures who shaped Rockstar's identity. I mean, Dan Houser, co-founder and lead writer behind Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, left the company in March of 2020. At the time of recording, that's 5 years ago. His departure followed an extended sabbatical that began in spring of 2019, suggesting there was possibly creative differences, or he was just burnt out from the increased demands of the development cycles, and perhaps he was just ready to do something else. Then there's Leslie Benzies, former president of Rockstar North and producer on every 3D Grand Theft Auto game since Grand Theft Auto 3. And Leslie was effectively fired in 2016 after attempting to return from a sabbatical. Now, Leslie did later sue for $150 million in unpaid royalties, claiming he was deliberately frozen out through lengthy deception. His fingerprints were on virtually every major Rockstar project, including Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, and Max Payne 3. These weren't ordinary personnel changes. I mean, we're talking the creative architects of these games who defined Rockstar's storytelling approach, gameplay philosophy, and cultural voice. And now it's just Sam Houser remaining as the sole original founder in the executive role. The creative DNA that produced the satirical, narrative-driven experiences fans expect has been fundamentally altered, and there's no denying that. And Grand Theft Auto 6's development represents a budget escalation that may have broken the traditional game development model entirely. Industry analysts estimate the total budget to be between $1 and $2 billion, making it potentially the most expensive entertainment product ever created. For context, this dwarfs Red Dead Redemption 2's $540 million budget and makes Grand Theft Auto 5's $265 million budget seem modest in comparison. Wrap your head around that. If the figure really is $2 billion, that's almost 4 Red Dead Redemption 2s. The game has been in development for roughly 8 years, with work beginning in 2018 after Red Dead Redemption 2's completion. Former Rockstar environment artist David O'Reilly confirmed he worked on Grand Theft Auto 6 from 2018 to 2023, representing the longest development cycle in Rockstar's history. This timeline suggests future projects of similar scope would require decade-plus development periods, which means traditional sequels are just financially unstable. And the most telling sign of Rockstar's future direction lies in Grand Theft Auto Online's unprecedented success. Grand Theft Auto 5 has generated over $1.4 billion in digital revenue, with 78% coming from microtransactions through shark cards. This represents nearly $1.1 billion in post-launch monetization, demonstrating that live service models can generate more revenue than initial game sales. Rockstar's recent Grand Theft Auto Online updates, including the Money Fronts expansion, focus entirely on passive income generation and money laundering businesses. These updates prioritize ongoing player engagement over narrative content, kind of hints at the company's strategic pivot towards games as a service.
It will be bad for business.
Well, what are we gonna do, Sonny?
The games as a service model market is projected to reach $159.24 billion by 2032, up from $9.32 billion in 2025. This growth trajectory makes traditional single-purchase games increasingly obsolete from a business perspective, particularly for publishers like Take-Two Interactive that prioritize shareholder returns. And you can bet after they invest $2 billion into a game, they're gonna want to see those returns. But now, artificial intelligence has entered the chat. So artificial intelligence, I mean, when I was a kid, when you said AI, you were just talking about how the AI in games work, but it's taken a whole new meaning. Artificial intelligence is fundamentally reshaping game development in ways that could eliminate the need for massive human development teams. AI-driven procedural generation now enables dynamic world creation, intelligent NPC behavior like we're going to see in Grand Theft Auto 6, and personalized gameplay experiences. That last one is big, personalized gameplay experiences, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. These technologies can potentially replace the army of artists, level designers, and content creators that traditionally drove up development costs. Advanced AI systems can now generate realistic character animations, dialogue, and even entire game environments. This means future Rockstar titles could be created with significantly smaller teams, focusing on AI oversight rather than manual content creation. This would also help them get around stuff like crunching, which they got in trouble for with Red Dead Redemption 2. And the implications of this are insane. We're talking fewer jobs, but shorter development cycles, and potentially infinite content generation. But not to get philosophical on you, but if you can have infinite content generation, doesn't that content kind of lose its value? Then there's machine learning algorithms already being used in games like MotoGP and Rocket League to create adaptive AI that learns from player behavior. This technology could eventually create NPCs and gameplay scenarios that feel unique to each player, reducing the need for carefully crafted universal narrative experiences.
It's been too long. You should have come out earlier. Think of all the girls you've been missing out on.
Our country has women too.
And AI is also being used to get around a lot of the thinking or number crunching that processors used to do. It's taking a lot of the burden off the processor. In a way, in that alone, AI is removing a massive barrier for games, and it's going to open up a whole new world of possibilities. But at what cost? And let's talk about the consolidation crisis going on right now. The broader gaming industry is experiencing unprecedented consolidation and studio closures that suggest traditional development models are failing. Over 25,000 gaming jobs were lost in 2023 and 2024 alone, with major studios like Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and Volition shutting down entirely. Even successful games no longer guarantee studio survival, as companies prioritize live service revenues over creative achievement. Microsoft's closure of Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks, despite their games being well received, demonstrates that critical acclaim and sales success no longer ensure job security. This industry-wide consolidation suggests that only the largest, most profitable franchises like Grand Theft Auto will survive the transition to new business models. And despite Grand Theft Auto 6's delay to May 2026, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick has confirmed that Rockstar is working on a lot of other things beyond Grand Theft Auto 6. However, these projects likely represent a fundamentally different approach to game development. The Max Payne remake, being developed in collaboration with Remedy Entertainment, suggests Rockstar may focus on remasters and collaborations rather than original AAA development. Red Dead Redemption 3 remains in conceptual planning phases only, with anonymous sources suggesting it won't enter active development until after Grand Theft Auto 6's launch and post-release support. And given that timeline, this could mean a 2035 or later release window. So let's talk about the future of Rockstar Games here. Several factors suggest Grand Theft Auto 6 represents the end of Rockstar as fans know it. As they shift to platform as a service, Grand Theft Auto 6 will likely function more as a persistent online platform than a traditional game. It's going to be an MMO with continuous updates, live events, and evolving content that never truly ends. And like I speculated in one of my previous videos, we're going to eventually be able to go back and forth between Liberty City, Los Santos, and maybe even have stuff like Las Venturas and San Fierro added to it. I don't see the next iteration of Grand Theft Auto Online closing down anytime soon. I mean, if you look at the previous Grand Theft Auto Online, the one that's still currently running, that started as kind of a wacky experiment. And think about how long that went. It's a Frankenstein's monster held together with duct tape and bubblegum, and things didn't flow quite right. Well, they've had all this time to learn from their mistakes, and now they're developing something truly new. And with the budget behind it, you can guarantee they're going to want to future-proof this product. And with AI-generated content, future content updates may rely heavily on procedural generation and AI-created missions, reducing the need for human storytelling and design expertise. And then there's subscription models. The gaming industry is rapidly moving towards subscription-based access. And you know that Rockstar and Take-Two, they're open to all this kind of stuff, with talk of the game even being $100 freaking dollars. So rather than individual purchases, you're looking at seeing games move more towards stuff like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Now. But there's also reduced development times, with AI automation dramatically reducing team sizes needed for future projects and fundamentally changing Rockstar's structure and creative process. So, based on everything going on, here's what Rockstar's future likely looks like. Grand Theft Auto 6 Online will become Rockstar's primary focus over at least the next decade, with continuous content updates and expansions. I mean, their team is big enough to be cooking a single, but I think that's going to be their primary focus. Grand Theft Auto 6's single-player campaign might be the last narrative-driven experience Rockstar creates at this scale. Red Dead Redemption 3 may never really materialize in its traditional form. Instead, expect something like Red Dead Online expansions, or AI-generated content that extends the existing world without requiring massive development investment. And they've already kind of laid the groundwork for this. In Red Dead Redemption 2, they already have New Austin and bits of Mexico. I think eventually, with the assistance of AI in development, we're going to see a full seamless transition from Red Dead Redemption 2's plot into John Marston's shoes, into Red Dead Redemption 1 in the same game world and the same engine, and maybe into a sequel to that. Maybe the World War I Jack story that everybody and nobody wants at the same time, all happening within Red Dead Redemption 2. So new IP development will likely cease as Rockstar focuses resources on maintaining and expanding their proven franchises through live service models. What was that game back in the day? You remember it was Spy or something like that? I mean, they didn't even do that. I think they've been kind of planning this stuff for a long time, guys. I mean, think, they're the industry leaders. They're going to be on top of this stuff well before we even have an idea of what's happening. So the next Rockstar game after Grand Theft Auto 6 might be unrecognizable to all of us. Think of it. It's going to be an AI-assisted, procedurally generated experience that adapts to individual players rather than telling a universal story. story. And earlier, when I was talking about adapting to individual players, we've already seen concepts of AI games to where a player is dropped in and the world is just kind of built around them and shapes around them. Grand Theft Auto 6 represents not just the culmination of Rockstar's traditional approach, but potentially its swan song. So with economic pressures, industry consolidation, and leadership changes, when you mix all that together, it suggests that the Rockstar games that created Vice City, San Andreas, and Red Dead Redemption may not survive the transition to whatever comes next. And that's just how it works in life, right? Things are born, things live, and things die. And in that sense, Grand Theft Auto 6 truly could be the last Rockstar game as we know it. But what do you think? Do you think this is the end? Do you think that Grand Theft Auto 6 is the last real Rockstar game as we know it? Let me know down in the comments. I'm Dandy Andy. I'm really bummed after making this video. So maybe, if you don't mind, you could cheer me up by hitting that like button. This video took a lot of work to make. Other than that, I've been covering a lot of Grand Theft Auto 6 related stuff lately. Not sure how long I'm going to do that, but I'm doing it for the foreseeable future. So if you're interested in more Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, here's 2 videos for you to check out. Have a great rest of your day, night, week, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there in this crazy, dangerous world where things are forgotten. Peace.